Hello, use well. AI is, of course, brilliant. It can save you hours a week, hours that you can spend more constructively on things that are really important and need your particular skill set. But there is, of course, a flip side to using AI, not least of which it can get things confidently wrong. It can start to erode your skills if you lean into it too heavily. It can create real risk around data privacy and confidentiality. And used carelessly, it can cost you the one thing in business that you'll never get back, and that's your credibility. So how do we get all of the upside from AI without walking into some of the pitfalls? Well, coming up with a real firm rulebook, probably not the way to go, because whatever you write this week will probably be obsolete next week. What you need instead is a small set of principles which you can use to benchmark your work and your people's work every day, easily and simply. Flexible enough to put judgment back in the room, to cover use cases you and your team have never even thought of, and most importantly, to keep you out of trouble. So here are 5 simple AI principles that I hope will help you answer the question, should we use AI to do this task? Principle number 1, AI for the mechanical, human beings for the meaningful. For process-driven tasks, just let AI do that. Let AI handle all the drudgery of process. Save all that valuable human time for the stuff that really is meaningful. So building connections with people, taking ethical decisions, showing empathy, or driving innovation and creativity. Principle number 2, if you can't explain it, don't delegate it to AI. And what do I really mean from that? Well, there's that old adage that if you can't explain something to a 10-year-old, then you don't really understand it. And while AI is great for actually trying to understand concepts and producing ideas, relaying those to somebody else, a colleague or a client, for example, without truly understanding it, can expose you to being challenged, being questioned around it. And if you can't come up with a credible explanation, or if worse still, you revert to, well, that's what ChatGPT told me, that is a very quick way to undermine your credibility. Principle number 3, and perhaps one of the most important ones, be honest about where you're using AI. Honest with your people and with your customers and with your clients. Principle 4, and a very obvious one, which is verify it before you rely on it. I'm sure we've all seen AI hallucinating and telling us stuff that is just completely wrong. In fact, often when you challenge something because you suspect it of not being right, AI rather sheepishly will tell you, actually, yeah, that's not actually correct. Treat AI like a super fast, incredibly efficient employee or colleague, but someone that's not always completely reliable and trustworthy. And lastly, the 5th and probably most important principle, which really perhaps should be a rule, which is never put confidential client information or stuff that's very private into a public ChatGPT or Claude type engine. Always, always anonymize that data so there's no way it can be linked back to either an individual or a company. So 5 principles to get you started. The best advice I can give is think about what principles are right for your particular kind of business. Where might you, instead of a principle, have an actual rule? For example, you might have a black and white rule about client confidential information or data never being entered into an open generative AI engine. But I'd love to know your thoughts on this and what sort of principles or rules are you putting in place in your own business?